I'm May Chong, and joining me here at the news desk is Michaela Galloway. We have a lot in store for you this week, so we hope you stay tuned. We would like to start off by congratulating the marching band for their gold medal performance in the MEBDA finals in Saco, Maine this past weekend. Congratulations to them for their 5-star performance.
Yes, congratulations to them. I'm sure you can all tell by now that we are taping the show on Halloween. We hope you all have a great and safe Halloween night. To help make sure we all have a fun and safe Halloween, Brooke and Sean came up with some quick and easy costume ideas and spoke with SRO Officer Robeck and Police Officer Norcross to get some tips on staying safe during the Halloween evening.
Here at Salem High, everyone's getting really excited for Halloween. Of course, there's a lot going on, and it also happens to be Red Ribbon Week. So here's some safety tips for the night of and some quick and easy Halloween costumes to get you through the holiday.
Hi, I'm Matt Norcross, the Salem, New Hampshire Police Department.
I'm Officer Dale Robeck. I'm the SRO at the high school.
We're here today to talk about Halloween safety. One of the more important things that we like to see when kids are going out trick-or-treating is being visible. Is that right, Officer Robeck?
That is correct. I would suggest having maybe glow sticks or a reflector, something that's going to let people know that you're walking the side of the roadway and that you're not going to get hit. Watch for obviously all kinds of oncoming traffic and things of that nature.
Officer Robeck, have you been to Canby Lake Park? Have you seen the Monster Be Gone lights?
I have not.
Little light that it's a necklace, you put it and it flashes. Very nice, very nice. Also, what we want to mention is when your costume, you can make your costume brighter if possible. But one of the things that we see a lot of kids doing, they're tripping over things because they can't see very well. They're wearing a mask with little, cutouts for the eyes, and it's difficult for the kids to see. So if you can use face paint instead or something like that, that would be preferred.
And a flashlight would be a good idea to bring with you so that you can see in front of you while you're walking house to house.
So we also want to discuss the costume itself. Make sure it's not too long. That's the other thing. If it's too long, you can trip over the costume, and that's not good. So when you're going up to the homes, make sure you're going up to the homes only with porch light on.
That would be a good recommendation.
Yeah.
I mean, in your neighborhood, I'm assuming that you're going to know most of the people that you're going to go to their houses. So
if they do not have a porch light, they're not participating in trick or treat. Don't go to it. But when you go up to the door, make sure you have a parent nearby. And you may have some people ask you to come into the house. Don't do that. Just stay out, unless you know them very well. It's a family member or a close personal friend. Also, when you're done collecting the candy, do not run in between yards. I know that a lot of the kids are very, very anxious. They want to get as much candy as possible, so they end up running from door to door through the yards. And what can happen while running through the yards, Officer Robeck?
bad things. You could trip into holes that are there that you don't see. Anything that's put up maybe for gardens, any small lines, fences, stuff like that, little rock walls, you don't want to be running into those. And I know that one of the things that came up last year with one of my neighbors is do not approach any dogs that are chained or secured in anybody's yard at all. If you do go into a yard, you see a loose cane or anything, I would suggest just going to the next house.
I'll tell you the other thing is when you're out and about trick-or-treating, it is dark out. It's from 6 to 8 in Salem anyways, and so it's dark out. And so, of course, we talked about the flashlights and everything, but there's still people coming home from work at that time, or there are people driving from neighborhood to neighborhood with their kids, so there are cars out there. So don't think it's a free-for-all. You can run around the streets carelessly. It's very important that you're walking down the street, and before you cross the street, look both ways to make sure that there are no cars coming. Then, at the end of the night, you go home, you got all that candy.
I would definitely suggest anything that's opened. Anything that is not in a wrapper, I would not keep, I would not eat. And definitely have your parents go through that.
Yeah, have your parents check, because, just in case you have any allergies, certain candies you can't have. Make sure that the candy, doesn't look like old, expired.
That's normally what we do with our kids. We unwrap anything that can be unwrapped. I look at it very, very carefully and make a decision whether I'm going to let them eat it or not.
And then when you're all done checking the candy, don't eat too much of it. Then you'll get a tummy ache, and that's not good.
So this Halloween, I'm going to be having a fun, safe party with all my friends, and I'm going to really enjoy it.
This Halloween, I'll be going to my friend Andrea's house for a party, and to be safe, I will stay with my friends and don't drink or do drugs.
I plan on making smart decisions this Halloween.
So I'm going to be staying safe with my friends, not going outside to any parties, drinking. I will be drug-free. Red Ribbon Week. Thank you.
And with the Red Ribbon Week taking place, making good choices, I can say this, that Officer Robeck and I have worked for many, many years in town, and unfortunately that when people start to use drugs and or alcohol, they tend to make poor choices. And that's when we see people getting involved in fights. We see people that they again making poor choices. They steal from other people's homes. If they want to go out and drive, they crash, they get arrested. It can be a life-altering experience if you make that choice to drink, use drugs. Bad things tend to happen, and so we prefer that you not. If you find yourself in a situation where there are drugs or alcohol nearby, find a way out. Just say, I gotta get up in the morning, I gotta study, I got homework, my parents are expecting me, and just get away from it.
I would agree with that. And if they do happen to go to a party, obviously just be wary of anything people are going to provide you. Don't leave any drinks unattended or open, especially if you're at a party that someone you don't know. You may not know some of the guests. I would just be very careful about leaving any drinks or food unattended that you don't have your eyes on it all the time, And obviously, as you said earlier, in regards to going into people's houses and stuff, just be very careful of that with people you don't know.
Thanks for watching Salem High. Have a great and safe Halloween.
Halloween means the end of October, and November is a busy month for staff and students. There are several days off in this month, including November 7th for students, November 8th for staff and students for Election Day, November 11th for Veterans Day, and November 24th and 25th for Thanksgiving recess.
Continuing with our weekly CTE feature, this week we decided to feature the construction technology class, also known as Woodshop. Gianna and Devin took a closer look at a great program offered here at Salem High.
Wood Tech, well, there's three courses. You have Wood Tech 1, Wood Tech 2, and Wood Tech 3. What Wood Tech does is it starts you from a fundamental understanding of wood. It starts you from the very beginning. That's what Wood 1 is all about. You learn how to work with hand tools, to get familiar with the wood itself, and you cannot really be familiar with wood unless you're actually dealing with it with hand tools. Machines are always very nice. We do learn machines in beginning woods, or Wood 1, but the hand tools come first. The projects we make, if you look over here, all right, there's a book rack, in fact, you can see on my desk right there, which hold books or CDs or whatever you want on it, and we make that entirely with hand planes, hand saws, chisels. They're sanded by hand, finished by hand. Once we get done with that, then we make these cabinets. You can see one behind me here with a door. All right, and we do this with machines. So I think question earlier off the camera was that you asked how soon will we get out to the shop. You're in the shop within 3 days. We do have to talk about safety first, general shop safety, how to deal with hand tools safely, and operate in the shop safely. Once we get through that, then we're actually in the shop, hands-on with materials and tools, hand tools first. After 5 weeks, we'll start into the machines. We have quite an extensive safety program to go through. Once the safety program is gone and through, then the kids are set free, and they're making these from a set of plans which they have to follow.
Oh. Yeah, wood tech was pretty lit. I don't know, I took 1 and 2, and I would take the third one. The only downfall to that is you have to pay for everything in wood tech 2 and 3, so that's kind of a bummer, and things get kind of expensive, but I don't know, you learn a lot of good skills on how to use machines to make like tables and all sorts of crazy things like that. I don't know.
Wood 2, we're making furniture. We ramp up the basics from the beginning woods, and we ramp up and we start talking about furniture. We learn how to do mortise and tenons. We learn how to do dovetail drawers. We learn how to do biscuit joinery. All the fancy joints that you might find in very high-end construction furniture is taught in the Wood 2
I took
class.
Wood Tech 1, and we made a bunch of different things. We made like a shelf and stuff like that. It was really fun. You had to pay for the wood, but it was worth it. You could take them home, make them look nice, give them to your parents, whatever. It was really fun. Wood Tech 2, you made a table. It got more complicated. You worked with like bigger tools and like stuff like that. That was probably a lot more fun, a lot more expensive too, but it was fun. And Mr. Hudson, the Wood Tech teacher, is really nice too.
Now, last course I offer is the Wood 3 class. That is a special class. You have to have a B average or better to get into class, into it. But in that class, you get to do whatever you want, depending on your pocketbook, if you know what I mean. How much money. So if you want to make that dining room table for your folks or your own self because you're moving into another apartment, you could do that. If you want to make that kitchen hutch or dining room hutch, whatever trips your trigger, you can do in the class.
There are many ways for Salem High students to get involved in after-school activities. This week we feature 2 clubs, one that just started this year.
UNICEF is a great organization, and thanks to Mei Chong here, we were able to bring it to Salem High. Ryan and I were able to interview the advisor and members from the club. Let's take a look and learn what SHS UNICEF is all about.
UNICEF is the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. So whenever there's an emergency, the UNICEF organization, which is a humanitarian organization, goes out and they help out children, women, whoever needs help in a case of a crisis. UNICEF was first born due to a crisis after World War II, when there was so many children out there with no home, just with no family and no food, no education. And so what UNICEF does is they protect the children's rights, giving them the food, the education that they need, the vaccines. And so it's a really good way to give out and help the children in need.
So there are a lot of areas that are impoverished with children who don't have food or safe drinking water or who need vaccines. And this is a club to provide education about those areas, but also to help support those kids around the world.
Well, I joined UNICEF so I could actually make a difference, because I have extra time after school, and I feel like the children in need are a big issue in the world. They're deprived of basic necessities, so if we can do something, everybody should do something.
I joined UNICEF to help out the kids who are in need of assistance and things that we don't have, or that they don't have that we have, and how they're underdeveloped and they need our help, and we can give it to them.
So we do a lot of fundraising, and I think since we live in America, we don't really know a lot of what's going on in the rest of the world. So it's also a way for us to get the word out there about things or areas of the world that might need help. For example, like the hurricane that Haiti just had. A lot of people aren't aware that they're still in a state of disaster right now and that they still need relief. So we're working on efforts to fundraise and to let people know about that.
Because there are so many children out there who need help and who if just having that ability to drink clean water just gets them so happy, and it's those little things that makes a child's day. And so if there's so many people here who would be willing to be part of it, you can be a huge impact in a child's life.
I joined UNICEF because I saw this post on Facebook, and it was about like this little girl and like a year in her life of like being a refugee, and it was really depressing, and I wanted to help her, but I didn't know how. So this was like the closest thing to helping her, I guess, or people like her.
I joined UNICEF because I wanted to help others who don't have access to things like that we have. We have a good education, we get food, clothes, vaccinations, which other people have in like third world countries, and that's something that everyone deserves to have and should be able to get.
Okay, so we are currently doing, to raise money for Haiti, we're selling Halloween trick-or-treat candygrams for $1, and so the money that we raise will be going towards Haiti. We're also planning on doing a movie night the Nightmare Before Christmas, where the proceeds for that will also be going towards Haiti. And we are also planning on writing letters to legislation soon to advocate for children's rights.
The decision making of the club, I feel like I'm very involved in it because everybody has like, they take your opinions and everybody has their own opinion about things, and you know.
I feel very involved. I'm the vice president, and I talk to the president May a lot, so yeah, I feel very involved.
There are plenty of events throughout the year that we have coming up, and we're planning right now actually. One of the events that we're planning to do is a movie after school, and that's to raise money for Haiti. They got devastated with Hurricane Matthew, and so that's one event. There's a couple other things that we're doing, which you guys will wait and see what it is, because I don't want to spoil anything.
I feel very involved in the decision making. Since we have a small group, I feel like my voice plays a bigger part than if it was like a larger group. So I feel like I have a pretty decent role in the club.
I feel like, because like at first we all had to like figure out how we were gonna go about making decisions, and now that we're like getting more into it, like having more meetings, we're all pretty involved in what we do and making decisions in the club.
The club's environment is very inviting and nice. Since we have a small group, we're all very close knit and we're close, and it's just a good experience.
I'd say it's getting more and more friendly as we have more meetings. Like everyone's opening up to each other more and just overall generally nice.
There is no requirements to join UNICEF. The only requirement that I would say is you have to be willing to just give out like all the help that you can possibly give without waiting to receive anything in return, because we're doing this to benefit other people.
It is not too late to join. We encourage anybody to come at any time, and it's always welcome. We're just looking for people who care and who want to help people around the world.
I would recommend others to join the club because we always like need to help children, because children are our future.
I would recommend others because this is a great cause and it helps out a bunch of kids in need, and it'll make you feel good if you help.
I would definitely recommend others to join just because it's such a great cause to be able to help others who don't have necessities such as education and medicine and food and clothes.
You guys to join the club. It's really nice and friendly.
UNICEF is a great way to get involved and help those most in need. Stay tuned for UNICEF flyers about the after-school movie night. If you are looking to become a member for the club, their next meeting will be held on the 9th of November at 2:15 in room 249. You can also see Ms. Smith for more information.
The second club we are featuring is the Quiz Bowl Club. As the members of the club get ready to participate in the Granite State Challenge, May and Tara were able to give us some input on this challenge.
There are various things for Salem High students to participate. For example, the Granite State Challenge. Tara and I were able to interview Mr. Campbell and a few other students who are involved.
Granite State Challenge is a quiz show that is shown on Channel 11, New Hampshire Public Television, and it's for high school students. Teams of high school students compete against one another, answering general knowledge questions and trivia questions. Think of it as like Team Jeopardy for high school students, because it's not individual, but it's the team. Well, it's an opportunity for students who have a lot of general knowledge to represent the school. It's an academic competition.
I joined Quiz Bowl and Granite State Challenge to do something with my trivia knowledge.
I joined Quiz Bowl and the Granite State Challenge because I really like knowledge. I really like trivia. It was something I could do with my friends and get to go all over the state.
Salem High School has participated in Granite State Challenge off and on for many years. I know that the program was active when I was here as a student under Mr. Sytek, who still teaches here part-time. He's the Latin teacher. Granite State Challenge went on hiatus a couple years back, and I know that Salem High School may or may not have been participating at that time. But our recent participation goes back, I think, 3 years now. This week we did a practice test because to qualify for Granite State Challenge, you have to take a test. The 6 people on the team get in a room and they take the test, and they can work on it together as a team, and then they take the top 14 teams automatically qualify, and then there's some wild cards and some playoffs for the last 2 slots. The field is 16 teams.
Yes, I found it difficult because you have to know knowledge, but you not just one subject. You have to know history, math, pop culture, science.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. I mean, you have to know a lot of things, like Jay said, in order to be able to compete.
I think it depends. Because some questions are I don't know, and other questions I buzz in immediately and go, yep, that's the answer.
I think there'll be close to 50 schools competing to get into that top 14 slot. It's going to be what they call it Super Sunday. It's the qualifying test day, and it's going to be November 13th.
I would recommend them to join if they like trivia or just to have fun. It's a really fun time, very chill.
I would totally recommend it because you get to do a lot of different things. You get to go around the state answering questions, showing off your knowledge, and having fun, meeting new kids all over the state.
Yeah, it's a fun club to go to, and you can have fun.
The Granite State Challenge would be broadcast on Channel 11. As the members prepare for the challenge, we wish them the best. How exciting. We truly do wish all the Granite State Challenge members the best. As we all know, Salem High has been under construction, and the next big new thing is the new front entrance, library, and other related areas.
Having witnessed the new back entrance and how spectacular it looks, we can only imagine how the rest of the school will turn out. Our fellow new cast member, Brendan and Christy, were able to get more information about the new front entrance and library. Let's take a peek.
This hallway is where the library used to be. Starting next year, the library will be in a different location. We got a chance to speak with some of the students and Mrs. Hopkins to see what their insight is on the brand new library.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new library. I think it's really going to improve our school, and it's going to get kids more education than the last one.
I'm very excited to see the new library.
Oh, yes, I am. I can't wait.
You bet. I cannot wait. I lie in bed thinking about how I'm going to arrange things, and I can't wait to get in there and start putting books on the shelves and having students come in and use the library.
I want to see new books because most of the old ones are ripped, torn, and I want to see more genres of books, more war books and all that, and history books.
Computers, new books, I don't really know, kind of like a chill space.
A whole lot of books, bigger shelves, and more computers.
So within the new library, we have 3 conference rooms, small rooms that students can work in, small groups, or if they want to do some recording and not have a lot of background noise, there'll be those options. And then there will be just sort of a lot of nice furniture, a bit more spacious, and the ability to move things around so we can adapt to what students need to do.
Kind of. I am disappointed to see it. I didn't see the old library. I am.
A little bit, but I mean, I'll be accustomed to the new one, the better one, so I don't know.
No, I heard that it was it wasn't that good. It was all run down. The books were all torn, all that, and it's just, they said it was wicked bad.
Well, we're definitely in a much cozier space. Obviously, it's a lot smaller, so we don't have as much room for students to spread out and work together in groups. and we packed up a majority of our nonfiction titles, but we're prepared for the fall, and students are using the online sources. Me personally, well, what I've enjoyed is meeting a lot of new teachers or seeing more teachers on a more regular basis that I hadn't normally seen when we were on the first floor. What I absolutely love is that we are no longer a bus stop for some students, and no one's cutting through the library anymore, so that's been great.
Have you seen the new library?
I helped with the planning of the new library, so I've seen the plans. I haven't actually been in the site yet. I don't think it's quite ready for any visitors. So I've just tried to be, I think we've all just tried to be really flexible because we've kind of taken over the computer lab, but Mrs. Wilmarth has been really helpful and accommodating, and we've just tried to go with the flow. Oh, well, I can't wait to see our view, because if you notice right now, there is a lot of sort of plastic over what will be a glass enclosed area. So I'm very excited to sort of see that open space and our view out onto the town hall, and just sort of the furniture and all the new things that'll be there.
We are all very excited to see how the new parts of the building will turn out. Well, that's all we have for today, Salem High. Thank you for watching. I'm Mei Chong.
And I'm Michaela Galloway. We'll see you next week, Salem High.